Welcome to another Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge area hotel review. Now, I mentioned both Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge because this particular hotel sits right on the edge of Gatlinburg as you're coming in from Pigeon Forge, so it really gives easy access to both areas. It's just a short drive in between. Now, if you are looking for a hotel that is in the heart or downtown Gatlinburg, this is not going to be the hotel for you. But if you're looking for something that is easily accessible to both Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg, and you're looking for a quieter area, this is going to be the perfect hotel for you. While I am a travel advisor and I book a lot of different kinds of vacations to lots of different places, we do live here locally in Tennessee. And we moved here back in 2014, but prior to that, we did a lot of traveling here to Tennessee. But we typically would stay in cabins. We didn't really experience a lot with the hotels. But now that we live here, and because I am a travel advisor, my goal is to get out and do these reviews for you so that you can get to see what some of these amazing hotels local to the area in both Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge have to offer. Thus, this brings me to the Appy Lodge. And honestly, so far, this has probably been my favorite hotel that we have stayed in, both in Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. And I was really quite surprised. And I'm going to tell you what I found about this particular hotel. While the Appy Lodge is obviously not some 5-star luxury resort, what I'm looking for when it comes to Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge is something that is clean, comfortable, has good amenities, and has great value. Because let's face it, going to Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge can be expensive. So you want to save where you can, but also not sacrifice quality. And that's where places like the Appy Lodge come in. Before I get too much more into this hotel, I do want to briefly mention that even though it's not in the heart of downtown Gatlinburg, it is just a short 1 mile from the main strip, so it is walkable if you're up to walking, and there's lots to do between the Appy Lodge and the strip. There's even a mini golf right out front of this hotel. If walking is not an option for you, they do have a trolley stop located right outside of the building. Now, obviously, prices of accommodations are going to fluctuate depending on things like time of year, demand, what events may be occurring at the time, etc. And honestly, I was really surprised at what the rate was on this hotel. At the time of this recording, we paid roughly about $141 for a single night here. And other hotels that were comparable to this one were running about $250 or more per night. So let's get into this hotel and see exactly what value you get for your money here. As you can see, there's plenty of comfortable seating here in the lobby area. There's even a small gift area. You can even get little drinks and stuff like that here. There's a fireplace where you can cozy up to. Honestly, I really loved the decor in this hotel. It was just very warm and cozy. And then right off of the lobby is the dining area, and I'll show you more on that here shortly. Now, another benefit to this property is the parking. For one, there is plenty of it. We didn't have any trouble finding a spot at all. And the other thing is they don't charge extra for your parking. Believe it or not, a lot of these hotels in this area not only charge you to stay in the hotel, but they also charge you for parking. And that's not even talking about the multiple parking lots spread throughout Gatlinburg that you pay a good amount of money just to park your vehicle in. So as I mentioned earlier, that 1 mile walk, if you are okay with that or just taking the trolley, you can save yourself some money by staying here because you don't have to pay for parking. Now, a couple more things about parking. One is parking placement. They have parking both in the front and the side of the building, so it's spread out nicely. And even if you're parked in the farthest parking spot, it's not too far to get into the building. I should also mention, as far as security goes, you'll need a key card to get in the building. The front door is locked at 11, and then all the other doors are locked around the clock. So again, just using that key card. The other thing I want to mention about the parking is the parking lot is well lit up at night, but it's Gatlinburg. And I don't say this to scare you, but more about situational awareness. You will see bears in Gatlinburg from time to time. And as my husband is a little bit paranoid about, and rightfully so, we saw a bear underneath our balcony at our last hotel climbing into the back of a truck. So again, situational awareness, and please, whatever you do, do not feed the bears. Now let's go ahead and get into the room tour. I will say first off, this room was very cool as soon as we walked in, and we did not have to wait for the air to kick in. The other thing is, I really liked the bathroom. I loved all the stonework, and there was plenty of room in the bathroom to move around, get dressed, and do all the things that you need to do in a bathroom. So this was very nicely done. The bathroom was very clean and actually had plenty of towels and washcloths, which I find oftentimes there's never enough of those in the hotel room. So they did a really good job on this too. While there is not a desk or a table to sit at in these rooms, they do keep a small tray in the stand under the TV. As far as the beds go, my kid can sleep on just about anything. I tend to like a softer bed. My husband tends to like a firmer bed, and all of us thought the beds were super comfortable, as well as the pillows. As far as USB plugs, there was 2 or 3 in the clock next to the bed, so if you have more devices than that, you may want to bring an additional adapter. There's a sitting area, a microwave, a refrigerator, a Keurig, and a very large TV. There was also a dehumidifier in the room, I suspect because of the indoor pool, but to note, we didn't smell any bad odors at all through the hotel. I should also mention that our refrigerator was half unplugged, so we did have to plug it in and it worked fine, but that was the only issue that we had at all with this hotel. And if you have the interest or the inkling, there is also different things posted throughout the hallways that tell you about the history of the area. One additional tip I will give you to save money when visiting Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge is to look for coupons, and they are everywhere, but you can get started right here in the hallway next to the dining room in this hotel. Speaking of dining, let's talk about breakfast. Breakfast was included in our stay, and it was scheduled from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. And when they say 10 a.m., they mean 10 a.m. I woke up just a few minutes before 10 and realized what time it was and ran down to grab some breakfast and just get a few seconds of recording so that I could share what the dining looked like in this hotel. And they were already pulling things off of the counters and putting them away. So I don't say this to make it sound like a negative thing. It is what it is, and I did sleep pretty late. But just know that you need to plan accordingly and get down there in time for breakfast. As far as the options of what they had for breakfast, I was pretty pleased with the variety. They offered Jimmy Dean sausage biscuits, waffles, cereal, muffins, fruit, juice, coffee, to name a few. So they had a pretty good selection of things to choose from for breakfast. Now, I don't know anybody who wants to go on vacation and work out, but they did have a small workout room if that's something that you would wish to do on vacation. They also have an indoor pool and jacuzzi right inside the hotel, which is super nice, especially if the weather outside is bad. You can still go swimming and enjoy that nice hot jacuzzi indoors. It was also warm and humid, but perfect for indoor swimming, and also likely why they keep the dehumidifiers in the rooms, as I showed you earlier. And if you prefer to swim outdoors, they do have an outdoor swim area that has a big slide and a waterfall feature. And one of the things I love about this amenity is that there's not an exterior entrance into this area of the property. You have to go through the building to get to this area. So as a mom myself, this just makes me feel more safe and secure and able to relax in this area. And this brings me to the conclusion of the Appy Lodge review. If you liked this video and found it useful, please make sure to like, subscribe, and share. And if you need help planning your Smoky Mountain vacation, you can get started by visiting dreamversetravel.com.